He hadn't looked in a mirror in 6 years, not once. Not even to shave. Not even to check for the scar above his left eyebrow. One she used to trace with her finger and say, "You're still the most beautiful mess I've ever loved." But now, he sat in a quiet hill town, staring not at a mirror but at a blank canvas. And across from him sat a blind man, an artist, holding a brush and saying, "I'm going to paint your soul, but you need to sit still and say nothing." He had spent his whole life running from the truth. Now the truth was staring back at him without eyes. Fade into memory. This isn't a story about art. This is a story about a man who thought he was broken, until someone who couldn't see showed him what was always there. His name was Samir, once a bright, talkative young man from Karachi. He had dreams of starting his own startup, of loving someone deeply, and of building a life that meant something. But life had its own timeline. His company failed, his fiancée left, and his father, the only person who believed in him, died before they could speak again. So Samir ran. He took a bus to the northern hills, left his phone behind, changed his name at the guest house, told people he was a writer researching silence. And every day, he walked the same path from the inn to the edge of the cliff, where the sky opened up like a wound, and the cold wind reminded him he was still alive. But inside, he felt like a shadow, present, but not real, until one morning, he noticed the sign outside, a small wooden cottage, blind artist, portraits from the soul, pay what you feel. He laughed at first. How could a blind man paint? Curiosity got the better of him. He walked in. The room smelled of turpentine and old wood, and in the center sat an old man, white beard, sunglasses, canvas before him. "You've come," said the artist. Samir paused. "How did you? I always know when someone broken walks in. The air gets heavier." Samir scoffed. "You think you can fix people with paint?" The artist smiled. "No, but I can show them what they've forgotten." He gestured to the chair. "Sit, say nothing. Let me see what's hiding." And so began a week of silence. Each day Samir would return. He never saw what the artist painted. The canvas was always turned away. He spoke only once. "You can't see my face. How can you paint me?" The artist replied, "Your face lies. Your silence tells the truth." Samir didn't know why he kept coming back. Maybe because no one had ever seen him without judgment before. Or maybe he wanted to believe that transformation didn't need a mirror. On the 7th day, the artist said, "It's done." He turned the canvas around. Samir gasped. It was a portrait, but it wasn't him. It was her, the woman he left behind, the one who once said, "You keep searching for yourself in broken places, but you are never lost." Samir's hands trembled. How did you?" he asked. The artist didn't answer. He simply stood and reached for a second canvas behind him, revealed a second portrait. This time, it was Samir, but not as he was. No beard, no tired eyes. It was him, the way she once saw him. Gentle, brave, capable of love. Samir fell to his knees. "You didn't paint what I look like," he whispered. "You painted who I used to be." "No," said the artist softly. "I painted who you still are." Samir didn't cry. Not at first. He sat there, eyes fixed on the painting of her, then to the painting of himself. And for the first time in years, he whispered her name out loud. Amina. He hadn't said it in over 2,000 days. The artist placed a hand on Samir's shoulder. "Most people try to erase their past. You tried to erase your reflection." Samir swallowed hard. "Why her?" The artist smiled. "Because she never left your mind. And she saw you before you broke." Samir finally understood. This wasn't about art. It was about memory, about love, about identity. "Am I really still that person?" he asked. The artist's voice was quiet but firm. "Pain changes you, but it doesn't erase you. Asterisk Samir walked out of the cottage that day carrying the two portraits. One of her, one of himself. The hill wind touched his face, and for the first time, he didn't flinch from it. He walked to the edge of the cliff, the same spot he visited every day. But this time, he didn't sit with his back to the world. He faced it. He didn't run from his past. He walked through it. He didn't forgive her. He forgave himself. He didn't start over. He continued forward. And later that evening, in the guest house, mirror cracked and dusty, Samir looked. He didn't see the beard, or the scar, or the years of silence. He saw a man who had survived himself. The mirror was never broken. It was just waiting for him to look again. Asterisk, we all run. From heartbreak, from guilt, from versions of ourselves we hope no one ever meets again. But sometimes, healing doesn't come from changing everything. It comes from sitting still, letting someone see you, and realizing you were never as broken as you believed. The soul doesn't age, it remembers, and if you're lucky, it paints you back to life. If this story made you feel something, share it with someone who needs to look in the mirror again. And never forget, transformation doesn't always begin with change. Sometimes, it begins with remembering who you were before the world told you otherwise.